another video. Today we got Florence Supermax. Let me see the rest of it, bro.
Yeah.
America's toughest prison or the world's luxury prison. What?
America's toughest prison or the world's luxury prison. I know it does have some very high profile prisoners. I think
hmm
El Chapo is in there. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure there's other big names, that are locked up in there. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff about this prison, but Mike, apparently it's it's the most secure, most unescapable.
23-hour bang up, innit?
Yeah. Apparently security in there is next level, bro.
You just can't escape, innit?
Yeah, it's not impossible, fam. You need to be like some type of magician or like some type of like supernatural being, to escape. Yeah, do you have anything else to say, Mike, before we dive in there?
You basically have to be a shapeshifter to get out of this prison.
Literally, bro.
Yeah, man,
Literally.
I'm excited to see this one. It's a very different video. We ain't done anything about prisons, I don't think so.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, I want
yeah.
to do different things on the platform, not just the generic foods and
Switch it up a
um
bit sometimes.
war and crime. But yeah, crime is interesting as well. This is more up my lane, probably a bit more. So yeah,
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. What do you make of like the prison systems like between
You
the
know,
UK and America? Because I feel
I've
like
heard.
America is far more strict, bro. Some states in America have like the death penalty, fam. So
Yeah,
so
you
do
know
that
what I've
mess
heard
about.
about. What I've heard about America is that
Yeah.
prison is basically a money making scheme for the government and stuff. Like it's actually like a big business, bro.
Okay.
Behind closed doors you just wouldn't realize.
Yeah.
So a lot of Americans make a lot of money from the prison system, which is
I
kind
mean,
of
it does make sense. It does make sense because at the end of the day, prison provide jobs for people. So if there are no prisoners, then a lot of people are going to be made redundant, especially those prison officers and stuff like
so
that.
true.
So yeah, what you said makes sense. It's I don't I mean I don't want to go as far as to say it's it's a business, but like it is profitable, and a lot of people make their living from it. So yeah. But yeah, guys, smash this like button, sub to our Patreon for music reactions plus any exclusive content that we can't drop on the main channel. It'll be on the Patreon link in the description. Enough talking, let's dive in there.
ADX Florence, built south of Florence, Colorado in 1994, is the most secure prison in the United States prison system. America's only federal Supermax prison is home to some of the world's most dangerous criminals, including names you might recognize. Today, we will tell you about the Florence Supermax, America's toughest prison. Number 7. What is a Supermax prison? Supermax prisons are the highest level security prisons, designed to hold inmates that pose extreme security threats. Inmates have little to no time outside of their cells, very few activities, and very little contact with other humans. Alcatraz is considered to be an early example of what would become the Supermax model. The controversial penitentiary on the outskirts of Florence.
By the Alcatraz, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think what's his name? Al Capone was locked up in there.
You know your stuff, man.
No, I could be wrong though. That's but I heard he was in there. Al
Let us
Capone,
know in the comment section if he's correct.
probably the most infamous prison, on the planet.
A small rural town once founded as a pass-through for coal-carrying trains in the 1800s, first started housing inmates in 1994. Today, ADX is home to 361 of the country's most high-profile criminals. Prisoners here, we're talking serial killers, terrorists, mobsters, cult leaders, drug kingpins, and those deemed too violent to live among a general prison population, live in near-continuous solitary confinement.
Like you heard that, bro. Those seem too violent to be around other prisoners. You must be almost like the devil, really.
Jeez.
For you not to be
Or like
allowed.
you've done like crimes like distributing to tons of cocaine and weed, stuff like terrible crimes where you're just
That's not even
you're not
terrible though.
safe.
Like
Yeah,
drug.
no, but like you have so much influence that you can't be around normal prisoners, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That aspect, and pedophiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They deserve those type of treatment for sure.
inmates spend 23 or more hours a day isolated
it's 24
in
hours,
soundproof 7 by 12-foot cells outfitted with a single 4-inch slit for a window. Due to these conditions, the ADX has been at the center of contentious debate about human rights and solitary confinement's effect
agree.
on mental health.
Well, you said you agree.
Bro, that's torture, bro. 23-hour bang up, bro. We call it bang up in the UK. 23 hours is complete insanity, bro. Like,
But Mike, these
you
are
would literally go cuckoo, bro.
but these are some of the worst people on the planet, bro. That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, though, you know what?
They're still human.
I kind of agree with you. Like, you know, sometimes it's good to, like, you know, provide some type of mental help. Because some of these worst criminals, yeah, I feel like, I know, yes, they're terrible people, but like, I feel like a lot of them have mental problems as well. I'm not trying to make excuses for them. But like,
I got a question for the comment section. Do you actually honestly agree with 23 hours locked confinement for these prisoners? I know they're the worst, but
yeah. I think it's mostly for like security reasons though, because the more time they have, the more free time that they have, the higher the chance of them escaping. So
you know El Chapo has escaped a lot of prisons, right?
Yeah, in Mexico, yeah. But the thing is though, Mike, Mexico is very corrupt, so like he could easily pay like the prison officers in it, and he has lots of influence in Mexico. In America, it's a different ball game, you know. So that's the thing. But I think with the 24-hour lockdown, I could be wrong, but I think I think security has a part to play, you know. Yeah, plus obviously punishment as well.
As Robert Hood, a former warden of the ADX, told the New York Times in 2015, this place is not designed for humanity. In fact, the decision by a London court in early 2021 not to extradite Julian Assange to American soil can be partially attributed to his possible assignment to ADX. The judge, Vanessa Baratzer, said that her impression of the WikiLeaks founder's mental state was such that it would be oppressive to extradite him to the United States of America. The ruling implied that 23-hour-a-day isolation would be too iron-fisted for someone exhibiting depressive and suicidal behavior. Assange is currently jailed in southeast London. The last time ADX made headlines for...
So Assange is in a prison, no joke. I can walk to the prison from my house in 5 minutes.
Is it Belmarsh?
Yeah, so I live 5 minutes from Belmarsh prison.
That's crazy.
And that's where Assange, and when you drive past Belmarsh prison, you see a lot of signs like free Assange. But yeah, I think he's still in Belmarsh. I'm not sure. I think he's out now, actually.
Okay.
But let us know in the comment section.
What did you do?
I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. But I remember that he was in Belmarsh prison.
Okay. You gotta be careful out there, Mike. Don't do anything crazy, yeah? Because the prison.
That is our most high security prison in the UK as well. Belmarsh is.
Yeah,
Belmarsh has rapists.
Yeah.
It has everything, bro.
Even that guy that stabbed Lee Rigby.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, he's in there as well.
There's terrorists there, bro. It's madness, man. Crazy jail.
Yeah.
A high-profile individual was in 2019 when Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the leader of Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel, was relocated to Colorado after being sentenced to life plus 30 years on international drug trafficking charges. With a propensity for violence and acts...
Sorry, I wasn't vegan. What does that even mean? Life plus 30 years. It's like he said.
Life's prison. Life is just like 60 years, and then they don't even want you to survive that. So if you survive 60, you're doing another 30 just in case, basically.
Okay, so like they just want you to literally die in there.
Basically, it's guaranteed death in prison.
I mean, just give them just say like life forever. why give him life plus 30?
A lot of people get concurrent life sentences, bro.
Which doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, we don't live that long. So I think for me, some of the sentences make it look worse than it actually is. For example, what you said, the concurrent life sentences, technically, like, it doesn't exist because it's what I'm saying, like. So, like, it's just to make it look worse,
To discourage people from doing it, basically.
Yeah.
Access to near unlimited resources, El Chapo was an obvious candidate for the ADX. He's twice escaped from maximum security prisons in Mexico. His jailbreak from El Altiplano in the summer of 2015 in which he drove a motorcycle through a mile-long underground tunnel,
heard
is
about
the
this.
stuff of movies, as was his recapture by Mexico's Marines in January 2016, which was preceded by a massive 6-month manhunt, a deadly gunfight, and El Chapo slipping out of an escape hatch hidden behind a closet mirror. No one has ever escaped the ADX, although there has been one homicide within its walls, which is why it's been called the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Most prisoners get out only in death, via transfer to another facility, or in very few cases, if they live long enough to see their release date. Number 6, the U.S.'s most secure prison. Commonly referred to as a Supermax prison, it has 490 beds in a compound which encompasses 37 acres. The prison was designed to house prisoners deemed too dangerous or high profile for regular incarceration, and nearly 95% of all inmates that have been sent to Florence were transfers with histories of violent behavior in other prison facilities. ADX Florence is known for its harsh conditions. Inmates are kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day. The hour they are allowed out is into a bigger cell with vaulted ceilings called the empty swimming pool. This room has a 4-inch by 4-foot skylight as the only window. It is designed to prevent the prisoners from knowing where they are, and they still spend this time alone. For at least the first 3 years, prisoners are not allowed to come in contact with other prisoners at any time, anywhere on the premises. Over time, good behavior can earn inmates more outside time. And for the most fortunate, a possible transfer back to a less secure prison can await. The cell furniture is limited to a desk, stool, and a bed, and each is constructed.
I mean, this is how some of these people are living, bro. That's, for me, this is worse than death, Mike. This is worse than death. You're locked up 23 hours a day in a very tight room, barely any lights, no entertainment, bro. You can't have a girlfriend or wife, bro. You can't socialize. This is worse than death. You know, that's why it's very important, man, to think about your actions, innit? Before you do anything, think about what's the consequences of my actions. But some people are too emotional, and so they act very, very impulsively. We all have that in us, but you need to have some level of control over your emotions. A lot of people, a lot of these criminals don't have that.
Constructed of poured concrete. The toilets are designed to shut off if plugged, and the showers are on timers. Rooms may have mirrors, lights, radios, and in very rare instances, televisions. But these are used as privileges based on behavior and are seldom awarded. There is no mess hall. Food is hand-delivered to each inmate by the guards. The prison has a multitude of motion detectors and cameras, 1,400 remote-controlled steel doors, and 12-foot-high razor wire fences. It would be difficult to classify the prisoners as being unfairly treated, given the circumstances which likely got them there.
Exactly.
Former ADX wardens have described the place as a cleaner version of hell. The prison operates under the strategy of sensory deprivation and solitude. Inmates are left to their own thoughts, which often leads to hallucinations, memory loss, and increasingly irrational behavior. Number 5. ADX has a reputation for being escape-proof. El Chapo has escaped prison twice while being held by Mexican authorities, in 2015 and 2001. But ADX is different. Nicknamed the Alcatraz of the Rockies, no one has escaped the facility located in the high desert about 2 hours south of Denver since it opened in 1994. Inmates are housed in soundproof 7 by 12-foot cells for 23 hours of the day in permanent lockdown, with no contact with other inmates. Staff members are carefully vetted and have little direct contact with inmates. Each cell contains a bunk, desk, stool, and shelf made of concrete, and a steel sink and toilet. Inmates can see outside of their cell through a single window that is 3 feet high and 4 inches wide, according to the New York Times. Most cells have televisions. According to the SF Gate, ADX is the only prison specifically designed to keep every occupant in near total solitary confinement. Number 4, ADX was born after the killing of 2 correctional officers.
Oh, really?
According to the Washington Post, ADX was conceived in the wake of the killing of 2 correctional officers on October 22, 1983, at the Marion Federal Prison in Illinois, what was at the time the toughest federal prison in the country. After their deaths, Marion was changed into an all-lockdown facility, and served as the test model for other Supermax lockdown facilities like Pelican Bay and eventually ADX. Number 3, worse than death. Current C1 columnist Robert Hood, who served as ADX warden from 2002 to 2005, described life in ADX in stark terms to CNN. As soon as they come through the door...
Because the thing is, I mean, I don't know much about death, but like, you know, the evidence is when you die, consciousness ceases to exist. So at least you don't know what's going to go on, right? What's going on? You're just like before you were born, innit? When you die.
Just a soul.
So exactly, but like when you're in there with your thoughts, you're fully conscious, bro. You are processing that's bad, bro, Mike. That's terrible. It says I would go crazy, bro. I swear to Mike. Getting locked up in a tiny room for 24 hours a day.
It in their faces. That's when it really hits you. You're looking at the beauty of the Rocky Mountains in the backdrop. When you get inside, that is the last time you will ever see it. The Supermax is life after death. It's long-term. In my opinion, it's far much worse than death. Number 2, it holds many high-profile inmates. A facility for the worst of the worst obviously holds a lot of criminals with household names.
Who's it?
ADX Florence is home to some...
Yep.
Did you hear about the Ryan Wedding story?
Ryan Wedding, no.
So he's just been captured now. He was an Olympic skier.
I think I heard about
Olympic
it.
medal.
Yeah.
He had great taste, man. He had this car that was one of 9, Mercedes. He had like 20 MotoGP bikes, but I think he had the Mexico cartel were literally helping him. He fled to Mexico and they were looking after him, but he's handed himself in or he's been caught, and he's probably gonna be in one of these max security prisons because he's such a high profile prisoner. But if you know any more information that I haven't mentioned in the comment section, let us know. And what's your thoughts on Ryan Wedding? A lot of people are bigging him up, but at the end of the day, he was ruining lives and killing people for importing drugs.
I think maybe Maduro, right? The Venezuelan dictator. He could be in one of these Supermax prisons as well.
For sure.
Of this country's most violent and
If
evil
he
criminals.
gets convicted,
It
obviously.
is also the #1 holding facility for convicted terrorists. One of the most famous residents is Thomas Silverstein, a convicted murderer and former Aryan Brotherhood leader who has committed 4 additional murders while in prison.
Wow.
Silverstein currently holds the record of being the longest resident of solitary confinement in the United States prison system, having been in solitary since 1983. Silverstein is often credited with being one of the reasons the ADX Supermax was designed due to his uncontrollable activities in other prisons. Historically,
Imagine his psyche right now, fam.
And he's smiling in pictures and stuff.
Some people are just built differently, bro. Like, some of them are not even
He
faced.
killed like 10 plus people, bro.
And fam, some of these guys, like, they don't care, fam. Like, bro, it's like they have nothing to lose, bro. They have nothing to lose. They don't care about life. They don't value life, bro. They will just do whatever they want.
the addition of another life sentence to a prisoner who already has one hasn't proved successful. Harsher penalties were needed to restore order and deter prisoners from killing prison guards. The threat of being transferred to solitary confinement at ADX Florence is the best deterrent in the prison system the United States has against violent crime. Number 1, the problem with Supermax prisons. Daniel Faithy, the director of the National Prison Project at the American Civil Liberties Union, wrote for the ACLU about this problem, saying, "In overcrowded prison systems, the typical response has been to fill the remaining Supermax cells with nuisance prisoners, those who file lawsuits, violate minor prison rules, or otherwise annoy staff, but by no stretch of the imagination require the extremely high security of a Supermax facility." Thus, in Wisconsin's Supermax, one of the worst was a 16-year-old car thief. 20-year-old David Tracy hanged himself in a Virginia Supermax. He had been sent there at age 19, with a 2.5-year sentence for selling drugs. The story doesn't stop in prison, though. While some in Supermax prisons serve life sentences to completion and others commit suicide, the overwhelming majority of these prisoners are released back into society. In fact, 95% of Supermax prisoners eventually are released. This reality means
You see, there's another problem though with the prison system. Like they don't offer any help, to some of these prisoners. No mental help, no like rehabilitation, or some way to like get their psyche or get them to change their mindset or like their perspective on life. They'll just release them back into society, and then they'll keep or they will just end up doing the same stuff again. Like, if you're gonna release someone into like society again, make sure you've given them the help. Make sure like, that they're mentally okay.
For sure.
What's the point of just locking them up and then releasing them, when their time is up, and then, they go out there and do the same stuff, and the cycle repeats. Like, it doesn't make sense. So like anyone that's getting released should, they should, make sure that they, that
They're good and they have some set up or have a plan, bro, to get a job or to do
Yeah,
something positive in society.
exactly,
everyday Americans should care about what happens in Supermax prisons. Do share with us in the comments if you more about this prison. Please subscribe to The Luxury World. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Fascinating video. Don't go to prison, man. Simple as that. Do the right thing.
Don't be a drug trafficker as well.
Yeah. If you want money, man, grind. There's so many ways to make money. Start a business or something. Go make some content or something like that.
It's not always that easy, man, but eventually you can figure out what you do in life, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy for everyone.
It's taken us time to realize what we're gonna do and what our calling is, but
yeah,
we found the calling now and want to see where it takes us, man. Honestly,
for sure. If you guys like the reaction, man, make sure to smash this like button. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.